And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the monastery, the open bar of the internet, the world's greatest shit show, and the place where we, the good brothers and sisters of this most holy of temples, seek enlightenment through the drunkest, craziest, and most batshit ways possible. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra, and with me I have two of my good brothers here in the temple. We have our resident waifu hunter and the biggest hater of Reiki Kawahara in our particular hallowed grounds. Good brother Coops.
There is no other waifu than Ao Yatsuhina. All others are fucking trash, especially Asuna. Fuck SAO. I still got it.
And of course, the man who is currently fighting his way out of being completely doomed. Good brother Sieg.
Taking a break from ripping and tearing to check out some other worlds for a change.
Yep. And hang on a sec. I think I had to refresh the browser links for Fugi because you guys weren't lighting up on screen when you were talking.
Retro.
Oh shit.
So hang on 1 second. I'm going to be trying to. I think it's because of the fact that I got booted earlier because Discord decided to crash. Although it shouldn't be giving this kind of issue because it's the same link. And it's not like I changed anything on that, so I got no idea what's going on there. So
Discord being Discord.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are picking up audio wise. It's just not doing the visual aspect of this sort of thing. Which is unfortunate, but we'll have to just deal. So sorry about that.
Here's what it is.
I see Evie in the chat bringing up Mentor Monday on Voop, that Voop does. I had already booked this well in advance, so I was never going to be on Mentor Monday. Plus, those sort of mentor things on Voop aren't exactly going to help me, so it's not something that's going to be a priority. But a few days ago, the III Initiative showcase happened. And there were a lot of high-quality indies that were brought up during the game and after it, to the point where I had enough meat on the bones to do the return of the Hangover Shitshow. Now, Coops, this is not your first rodeo with the Hangover Shitshow, so you know how this goes. See,
Precisely.
This is your first rodeo, so let me give a bit of context as to how this works. But before that, what I'm going to do is DC and reseed just to see if that solves the issue. So give me 1 moment. Okay, let's try now. Because otherwise this thing is going to drive me crazy.
Testing.
All right, looks like that worked.
Excellent.
So the Hangover Shitshow is I guess, seasonal series they do. I don't really have a set schedule with it. We just do it every few months. That I started a few years ago when I was seeing a bunch of people insisting that nobody was making any good games. And this was right around the time of E3 a few years ago. And meanwhile, I'm over here just drowning in high quality games. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna show what exactly is out there, and I'm gonna be showing so much of it that anyone who says that nobody's making good games is full of shit. And I know a lot of people like to say, except for the occasional indie. I think I've said this multiple times, we have long crossed the threshold where you can't really say it's occasional anymore. There are way too many examples for it to be just occasional. So anyone who's arguing that is only doing so for the sake of a narrative.
Not just that, but I feel like they also are just stuck in the whole AAA brain rot of the gaming industry and are just looking in the wrong places.
Precisely.
The analogy that I've used is what I call the myth of legitimacy. Because I gradually realized that there was a similarity between that and the people who act like the only way somebody's a legitimate star in wrestling is if they're in the WWE umbrella. Like you can't be a star outside of that.
Mm.
And then they'll say something like, "Well, if they're such a big deal, why haven't I heard of them?" Yeah, I remember somebody trying to dismiss, of all people, Stan Hansen for that kind of thing. Like, if Stan Hansen's such a big deal, why haven't I heard of him? I'm like, I should smack you upside the head for that. Because yeah, Stan was far bigger in Japan than he was in the States, and a lot of that is because, well, over in Japan they love that rough stuff. But there's this idea that that you have to be within that AAA bubble in order to be legitimate, and I've seen people treat a lot of the high quality indies with the same attitude as you treat a asset flip off of Steam during the nadir of the Steam Greenlight program.
So Steam trash.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there is gonna be trash. I mean, 90% of everything is crap, but I think we're long past the point where the idea that good games are some rare exception within the indies, especially as more and more people go indie or build a name for themselves doing independent work, or even just folk who did work at a bigger company and decided to go independent and continue development on their own projects. We're in the middle of a paradigm shift regarding that, and that paradigm shift is going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
I see Barb saying, "There too often it's like a meteor shower." Yeah, and some people want to stay in the bunker, stay in the vault. If I want to make the Fallout reference,
Nah. I prefer the freedom to wander around and find these things.
Mm-hmm. But I understand why they grew up with a lot of names when they were playing like 5th or 6th generation, and the idea of indies being on that same level is something that they can't quite grasp. But we are in the midst of significant change. And while there's going to be the indie brain, there's going to be not the indie brain rot, the AAA brain rot. I think as we go further along in time, that mode of thinking is going to be all the more ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, I will note that I ended up getting about 70 games for the list. So pack a lunch, folks. We're in for the long haul.
All right,
we're gonna be eating good tonight.
So, first one that we've got is Absalom, which this was a very recent announcement. And I will note some of the games that we're going to be going over either already have demos or are already out. And I'm going to have to do an intermission a little ways in because ThinkTube only lets me do about 53 videos total in a playlist. So there's going to be an intermission and a little ways into this as I fill it up with the rest.
Oh, this is
And-
going to be a good time.
And afterwards, on both my social media and on my Discord, I will be posting the spreadsheet that has all of the links we'll be going through. There's only I'd say only a handful of games could really be considered major, as in from a major publisher. A lot of these are indies and double A's. But first one we have is Absalom. So let's get this show on the road. So we got .emu doing .emu things.
I have a couple of their stuff. Not bad.
Someone's clearly been studying Mike Mignola.
Got a very Crystal Punk vibe from this.
And that, folks, is how you make an entrance.
Oh, that's sword, though. Okay, Dwarf has a gun. That's always awesome.
And fists.
Dwarf is not punching the shit out of things. You're doing it wrong.
But Absalom, as I understand it, is going full beat 'em up.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm down for... Oh, yes! Okay, I like the guy with the sword already. Fucking stinger right there. Oh, I am so down for this.
So this one was only just revealed recently. This was revealed during the just before the III showcase.
Oh, I am going to be keeping an eye out for this. Luckily, I got my Steam open.
Yeah. So next is Abyssus, which this does have a demo out on Steam. Abyssus is very much drawing upon BioShock, and you'll see why.
Expedition in the Abyss. Thanks to human ingenuity and retro...
I'm already looking at a makeshift Big Daddy.
will radically change how each weapon shoots and feels. In the camp, you can mix and match mods to change your weapon's primary and secondary fire. You can
Oh,
also
that's
change
cool.
your abilities to try more daring synergies. You can further improve your starting setup with upgrades and blessings. But let's get started with the weapons.
And
The
yes, this
engine
is going a
rifle,
bit of
a good
roguelike.
all-round choice. It can be fully automatic or
Steampunk
versatile,
I figured.
with mods designed to spit the maximum amount of lead towards the enemy.
And thank you
The
for
twist
the,
is,
thank
the
you for
secondary
doing the
fire
membership,
won't use
Marco.
ammo, but
Yeah, I just
will
got
heat
that
the
set
rifle.
back up again.
If you can avoid it overheating, you can keep firing for a long time. And if you want to go close and personal, it's the trusty shotgun.
You know
Hey, it's
how
my
it is.
weapon.
You know how it is. All hail the shotgun.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
some buckshot to the hostiles, or go solid slug to devastate those weak spots. You can knock your enemies back, or recoil yourself away from danger. The Tesla
Okay.
rifle puts thunder in a brine jar.
Lightning
with
gun,
some
alright.
retrofitted artifacts on top. Its electric power can be concentrated onto a target
Yeah, that's a
or arc
it's
among the
definitely a
enemies.
lightning gun.
Perfect for when your foes bunch up.
Shotgun seems a
You
little
can
weak,
unleash
but
the
I can
storm
see
onto a large service,
the
or
pushback
throw
where
the
it could be
entire
useful.
jar at them. The bow deals more damage the more you draw the bowstring. The perfect weapon if you want to pull precision shots to the weak spots.
So, anybody
It's
getting
an ancient
Turok
artifact with a
flashbacks?
miniaturized portal on the arrow wrist.
You
that
too?
can supercharge your
It's
arrows to
been
pierce
a long
holes
time
among
since
the
I've played
enemies,
Turok.
unleash scattered
The
volleys,
bow could be
or
really good
even
if you knew how to fucking use it.
explosions.
Yeah.
Speaking of explosions, try the plasma launcher. Have its superheated plasma projectiles track the enemy, or concentrate them into a big boom. Its persistent plasma fields are also excellent for controlling key points. if
Okay,
you have
so
those
here's our grenade
tactical
launcher.
Fancies. Me, I go for disintegration ray. The Disc Thrower. It's not a weapon for
I already
beginners,
liked it.
but it's extremely powerful once you get the hang of it. You only reload once, the disc bounces to you, but you can empower them with all
Also, it
kinds
has
of effects
ricochet,
when
that's
they're in the
nice.
air,
Yep.
such as lightning arcs.
I like
or,
that.
it,
I do too. That's fucking
explosions.
awesome.
You can also throw 3 at a time and watch the mayhem.
That must be
The
secondary fire.
revolver. It's a classic weapon.
Oh, look, another one of my
Thanks to
guns.
brine and elbow grease, we had its stopping power tuned to 11. You can go burst, semi-auto, or high caliber for those weak spot snipes. It comes with a scope that you can tune to tailor your long-range shots to your favorite style. And hey, don't touch that.
Is that a shark with a chainsaw?
Yes.
There are many more
Holy
ways to
shit.
customize your weapons further. During your expedition, you might stumble across an ancient forge. Access it to power up your gun or your ability in many different ways. And then you have the blessings. Apparently, some higher power down in the abyss likes us humans. I'm not big on theology, but if it makes my explosions bigger...
And thank you, Mario, for the $5 super chat. Started the first time. We'll start this time. Stay fucking frosty, monk. Can always count on the monk for entertainment.
Then I'm
I
a true
appreciate it.
believer. Here's when things get serious. Interact with the altars when you come across them, and you'll get a primeval boon for your troubles. For example, you can hemorrhage your enemies,
Ah, bleed damage.
or
Right, literally.
freeze them right in their tracks. Burn them with the fire blessing. Spin them round with the power of the winds.
I call dibs on
Or
wins.
call upon the boons of fortune to give your attacks that
Here I was thinking you were going Frost.
And don't forget the blessings of the
Although
ocean.
fortune
if you
might
want
be
some
interesting. Turning your enemies
tentacle
into gold.
action. You can lean towards versatility by choosing
Frost is
Fire
more
all
my
the way.
thing.
each of your attacks.
Fire all the way.
Specific power to gain major boons as you collect more blessings of the same type. This overview is just a sample of the mayhem you can unleash with our brine-powered weapons.
Oh, that shotgun's rate of
48
fire
weapon
was
mods, over 100
ridiculous.
blessings,
What was that about the
and
shotgun being
multiple forge
underpowered?
upgrades to collect. The combinations are
It
almost
it
infinite.
seemed weak, but then I looked at the rate of fire. I'm like, okay.
Well,
Okay.
these are the tools. You know which side should be pointed toward the enemy and where the trigger is. Now gather your team, jump into that portal, and bring home that brine.
I feel like Abyssus would be perfect for people who played way too many rounds of zombies.
That's literally 5% of my workforce right now.
Well, zombies when it's actually good. Let me clarify. But next is one that grabbed straight from their YouTube page, Ad Mortem. I think I showcased this on my Discord a little while back, but now we've got some more to chew on.
From pre-alpha footage, so don't expect something impressive.
Head-on Studios apply directly to the forehead. Head-on Studios apply directly to the forehead. Okay, I'll stop.
Oh God, I was about to say, oh God, stop.
Now available at Walgreens.
Ooh, getting very chivalry vibes.
You know, a long time ago, someone tried to tell me when I roasted the way melee combat works in the Elder Scrolls, you can't do good melee combat in first person. I guess the universe listened and said, the fuck we can't.
Exactly.
And I guess what we have here is chivalry with a far stronger aesthetic.
And a much darker one too, because holy shit.
Yeah.
His head popped off.
What head?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh. two-handed mace. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's For Honor if it was good.
And I like For Honor, well, to a point. Then Ubisoft happened.
Yeah.
And I could see some arguing that the guns might be overpowered in this, but I have a feeling that firearms in this are going to be one-off.
Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon. Fuck you, I've got a gun.
Rise.
Okay, dungeon crawl. We're gonna need a head count for this.
I guess with the dungeon crawling, you have to manage light, which almost makes this have the feel that I wanted from Dark and Darker.
Okay, that was actually pretty cool.
Yep. So, and unfortunately, this one is age restricted.
Boo!
But I'm just gonna have to put that up in a different tab. So come on. Okay, why won't it play? Give it a second.
Google's trying to interfere.
Okay, I don't know. Screw it. We're just gonna have to move right to the next one.
That's
Damn
alright.
it.
It's unfortunate, but we'll have to deal. But I will note this. Blades of Fire is the next project by Mercury Steam. And it is one where you are playing a blacksmith, and custom weapons is gonna be one of the key things with it. But
Cool.
next is a entry known as Causal Loop, which apparently is doing time loops in shooting.
Humans always find a way.
Head up. I'm not doing the head-on joke again.
Adversity shapes you, pushes you, makes you defy the inevitable.
Since this was on God's
But defiance
YouTube
alone
page, I think we know
is
what
not
platform
enough.
this is going to be on.
Right.
Amidst failure, you hunt for clarity. The one path that changes everything. You see patterns where others see chaos. Some choices lead to greatness, and others to disaster. Yet, even at your lowest, you always find a way.
Don't know how I feel about this one.
Yeah, this was only just announced, so we'll probably see more in the next few weeks.
You can't really make a decision on it with that little information.
But next is Chain Staff, which I think the name alone speaks volumes. So, who's got their contra code memorized?
I'll have to go back and remember it.
Yeah. But yeah, we're definitely dealing with Contra like with a few tweaks.
Instead of fighting the aliens, you're playing as an alien fighting other aliens.
Pretty much, with some elements of grappling hook.
Upgrade human tech.
That is so fucking metal.
So, next one on the list is Cleared Hot, which got recommended to me, and I'm going into this blind.
Nothing your old man can't handle.
Actually, no, what I do remember this.
Desert Strike.
So, Microprose has come back over the last few years and has been trying to bring back some of their old projects, or do projects in similar veins. For example, High Fleet. Cleared Hot, I believe, is another one of those, them trying to bring back another concept.
Hey, kiddo, it's me. It's been a while. I know you're busy. I've actually been pretty busy myself. Dealing with a little pest control issue. Nothing your old man can't handle.
Yeah, it's Desert Strike.
I've been
Yeah.
thinking a lot about mistakes. I know I can be reckless with things, people, hell, even with myself. But I'm working on it. Trying some new tactics. When to keep my distance, when to just get up in there. Work smart, not hard, they say. But sometimes I think you need both.
Holy shit!
Sometimes it don't matter how smart or hard you work. The world's gonna kick you in the teeth. Houston, we got a problem. And it ain't about how smart or hard. It's just about getting up, going again. Which I guess is why I'm calling you now. Just hang in there, kid. See you soon. I hope.
Soon-ish. So yeah, and Barb's saying, why does the music sound like Ron Wasserman? Why indeed? But yeah, all the insanity you'd expect with messing around with a helicopter. And as an aside, I will always find it amusing why it is that the Army has helicopters instead of other branches. It's because the Air Force decided anything plane related belongs to them. But the Army needed flying vehicles, so helicopters.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, just another case of branches of the same military bitching at each other about anything and everything. Look, you dig around long enough in weapons history, you will find that the only thing the Army, Navy, and Air Force will ever agree on is that they will never agree on anything unless physically forced to by either politicians or somebody who's high enough on the food chain. And even then, it's akin to the parent telling the bickering siblings to get along. But next up is one that came from the AAA Initiative's YouTube page, and that is Clover Pit.
Okay, getting some serious buckshot roulette.
Funny you say that, Sig. I literally just purchased Buckshot Roulette not too long ago.
Oh, it's a good game, man. You'll like it.
What I'm getting vibes of is Balatro with slots. Complete with the absolute chaos.
Let's go gambling.
You were right.
Now, the next one, Covenant. This is one that I've showcased in the past. It's got a team that has a bunch of different folk from a bunch of different studios. And but we didn't have, but all we had was just the announcement last time we covered this. We didn't have anything more than that. Well, now we have more.
You were right. The winds are changing. They've grown dissonant.
It was the 77th year. Dawn of the Composer War. The day of Malak's fall. And my eyes adapted to the dark.
A great sword guards the city, and it faces everywhere.
Another bird falls from its nest. Then come and let us have words. 100 kingdoms could not stop what is
So, who wanted a bigger bow?
coming.
If you do this, you shall never
First person combat seems pretty visceral.
the dead.
So be it.
Oh, Hammer of Retribution.
Belial, the villain. He does not come but to kill, steal, and destroy.
He's come to kill Steel. Well, fuck, I'm gonna have to fix that.
This burden is now yours.
So, I see some potential with this.
I'm gonna wait till more comes for it.
So, this, we technically covered this a few months ago, but we didn't but we only had a teaser. Demon Ex Machina Titanic Scion. Obviously the sequel to Demon Ex Machina, which was made by some Armored Core 3 devs. This was showcased during the reveal for the Switch 2, but it is going multi-plat, and thus I do not give a shit about the Switch 2 version.
Initiating Arsenal boot sequence.
Stuff like this works better on PC anyway.
All operating at normal levels. Testing data link with spine. Normal. Commencing launch.
After 2 long wars where our freedom was restricted, we will finally be liberated from
So we have power armor instead of
I'm
max.
in need of a new arsenal, new equipment, and money. I'm for sale, and you're buying.
Rebels! Thanks for the warm welcome!
This planet will be ours. The sovereign axiom.
You know what I'm getting the vibe of out of this? The kind of thing that Anthem was supposed to be.
The Trinitas has almost
Gotcha.
created a weapon that was created to destroy all humanity.
No! Because we're in the middle of a war. Don't you get it?
I won't just stop you.
Ooh, so many lasers.
All children bring hope to our lives, don't they?
Of course.
I mean, I already had my eye on this, but holy cow, yeah, I'm definitely checking this out.
So, for this next one, I'm kind of cheating. Because this is not a full game, this is a mod. A very extensive mod for Dark Souls called Archthrones. This mod I've been keeping an eye on for quite a while. And they're starting to show some legit progress.
Vanilla game. For this installment.
Hang on, who keeps jumping ahead?
I'm not touching anything.
Neither am I.
Alright, in that case, I'll just blame it on Sync 2 acting up.
Yeah.
It's like it jumps ahead a few seconds.
Salutations, emissaries, and welcome back to another update from Team Archthrones. I'm your host, Struggler VA, and this time around, we're kicking off the first episode of our Weapon Spotlight series. In these videos, we'll be dissecting all the various changes made to the weaponry
And of course, he's going to use that kind of name because
for this
people have done
installment in
guts builds
particular, the weapons we'll be focusing on will be the Black Knight Great
guts
Axe,
in
Short Sword,
these Souls games.
Drake Blood Great Sword, and the Crescent Axe. Let's begin.
Yeah, for some reason I'm seeing the Daemon Ex
Firstly,
Machina
we have the Black
thing
Knight
on sync
Great
too.
Axe. This weapon
That's odd. Is it still showing that, or is
Yeah.
it showing Dark Souls now?
It shows the title is Dark Souls, but it's playing Daemon Ex Machina for some reason.
And
It's showing Dark Souls on my end.
yeah, Sig refresh.
Refreshing. Okay, there we go.
was always notorious for its insane damage output along with its terrifying two-handed heavy attacks. To stay in line with all the previous changes we've made throughout Archthrones' lifespan, we've made the decision to change this
Now it's
weapon
not
class from a
playing.
great
There we
axe
go.
to a colossal weapon. However, we've also decided to keep its iconic one-handed and two-handed standing attacks, as they offer a unique
like to ask
approach
you
in
a question.
contrast to other colossal weapons. Its light attack chain has been standardized to end after its third attack. You might recognize this third attack as the heavy attack found on the Prelate's Crozier in Elden Ring. Next, let's talk frame data. Like the rest of the colossal weapons, all of its attacks have been improved as such. Faster attack speed, quicker cancel windows, and better track ranges, this weapon has also received a revamped weapon art. Allow me to introduce you to Demon Hunt, a high-powered slash that travels a great distance and causes an upward launch on hit. This ancient technique was designed to combat demonic foes spawned from the chaos itself,
Well, I'm already sold.
allowing you to cleave an opening into even the largest of foes. This skill grants a level 3 hyper armor bonus and provides a 50% reduction to incoming damage once the attack begins motion. It may be slow, but when used at the right time, it packs a devastating punch to anything in its path. Lastly, to avoid any confusion, we've renamed this weapon as the Black Knight Colossal Axe. We hope you look forward to using this weapon in the final release. Next, we have the Short Sword. The vanilla description specifies that this weapon excels at thrust attacks. Yet, the only thrust attack it doesn't share from the generic straight sword moveset is its two-handed heavy attack. We took this description and decided to expand upon this weapon's moveset in a way that honored the original design and description of this weapon. What you're left with is a hybrid of a straight sword and a thrusting sword. Its one-handed light attack chain begins
Remember,
with
folks,
a
stick 'em
thrust
with the
attack
pointy
and
end.
continues with slash attacks,
offering
incredible utility for a straight sword. Its two-handed light attack moveset begins with a horizontal slash that covers a generous amount of space in front and around you, great for dealing with multiple opponents. The rest of its light attack chain is a mix of both slash and thrust attacks, fitting of a straight sword that excels in thrusting attacks.
Oh, we're doing the
Lastly,
sword and
to
ward shit
diversify
from
this
Monster
weapon
Hunter.
from other straight swords, we've swapped its stance weapon art for blind spot, allowing you to target past opponent defenses and sneak in large chunks of guard-piercing damage that can't be blocked. While one of the shortest straight swords, its moveset and weapon art more than make up for its lack of range by allowing you a unique and heterogeneous
you just
approach
stabbed
to
him in the
combat
dick.
encounters. Following the short sword, we have the Drake Blood Greatsword. Being one of the smallest weapons in its class and having a nearly identical moveset to Hollow Slayer, we decided it would be for the best to use this weapon as a poster child for a new weapon class, the Light Greatsword. This weapon class was not fully developed in time for the demo, so we scrapped it until we could find the time to put it back together. This weapon
I know it'd be tempting to say a light greatsword is an oxymoron, but you do have two-handed weapons that are certainly lighter than others in the sword department. Like an S-stock is going to be a bit lighter to use than, say, a claymore, even though they're both two-handed swords.
Utilizes the moveset of the light greatsword weapon class found in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC of Elden Ring. As such, this weapon is now much faster and has attacks with high amounts of root motion to account for its lesser reach.
Although the way
Make
it's
use
being
of this
used here, it
moveset to
feels more like a
smother your
bastard
foes
sword.
with a barrage of fast and
Yeah.
aggressive strikes,
Not
or
that I'm
approach
complaining.
methodically and reactively to counter
It's definitely
outspace
quick.
and whiff punish your foes.
And apparently does
We've
lightning
altered
damage.
its stance weapon art for its Elden Ring counterpart.
Oh look,
Follow
it's
your
me
stance
coming
with
into a
light
duel.
attack to unleash 3 slashes in swift succession, or follow your stance with a heavy attack to leap high into the air and bring down a devastating counter thrust to your foe. This heavy follow-up provides invulnerability for the first 3 frames of the animation, allowing
damn.
most incoming horizontal attacks to whiff. This weapon now offers a lot more to work with, allowing a balance that caters to both offensive and defensive playstyles.
I look forward to and dread
Our
PvP
last
with
weapon
this
on
mod.
today's list is the Crescent Axe. You've seen this weapon as a large axe in Demon Souls, an axe in Dark Souls 1, a great axe in Dark Souls 2 and Elden Ring, and a halberd in Dark Souls 3. This weapon has a significantly varied history within all Souls titles, altering its properties in each different title it appears in. We've decided to continue this tradition, but unlike the Drakeblood Greatsword changes, we've chosen to use this weapon as a means to introduce an entirely new weapon class exclusive to Dark Souls Archthrones. Introducing the Dane Axe, a weapon class that blurs the line between axe and halberd.
Those of you who have Viking heritage, you should be very familiar with a Dane axe.
The Crescent Axe and other axes like it are a truly terrifying weapon to behold. Their light attacks may not be the fastest ever,
Also,
but their
Coops, I think
existing
you've
attack
got the,
speed
the
combined
video on
with their
speaker.
weapon length and damage output push these weapons into a category of their own. Alongside
it
their
shouldn't be.
standard light attacks,
Because I'm
your
getting an
two-handed
echo
heavy
from your...
attacks have built-in hyper armor,
I'm getting an echo
allowing
from
you
your
to
end.
apply pressure with fast and long-ranged attacks, while also being able to stand your ground when the situation
I don't know
arises.
how that's happening, and I'm
In
wearing
addition,
headphones
your
right
long
now.
light attacks boast incredible
you,
speed
Sig?
and range, allowing you to smother
Nope,
your opponents while
I got
forcing them to
headphones
play at your
and
pace
all
in
my
most
shit
situations.
is set to the headphones.
Space out your foes, force them to approach, and deliver a devastating punish as they try to safely navigate the range
Okay, I'll
of
just
your
chalk it up to
axe.
Sync 2
And
being
when they
Sync
least
2.
expect it, stand your ground
Sounds
and
about
shrug
right.
off an incoming attack to retaliate with an attack of your own. More information about this weapon class will be shared at a later date. And that's all I've got.
Still, God bless modders. You know, taking a game that's been around for a while and breathing new life into it like this.
I still suck at these games.
I'm not the best, but I have to appreciate the hustle.
Exactly.
But next is a expansion to the Deep Rock Galactic universe. So remember, folks, if you ain't rockin' stone, you ain't coming home.
Oh, hell no. I see that many enemies coming at me, I am just unloading.
Yeah. So, one moment. Are we back? I think we're back.
We're back.
All right. So next is Dusk Fade. Which this is another one that I'm going in blind.
My star. Going back sounds tempting, doesn't it? But if we're always looking back, we'll miss everything the present has for us.
I know some of you looked at that sword and said Keyblade, but this feels more like a pure platformer than that kind of action. But it's clear they have some inspirations.
Yeah, because that overhead swing in the air. And Final Fantasy X. And Zelda.
Yeah, I'd say this is going to be more of an action platformer than action RPG.
I'd give it a shot.
I do like what I'm seeing. So, Edge of Memories, we technically covered during the last Hangover Shitshow, but we didn't have as much footage. This was developed by the team who previously did, who had previously done the game that I had streamed several years ago, and they've gone from turn-based to real-time because once again, Ito was right all the way back in the 90s.
The world's in pretty bad shape right now. The corrosion is gaining ground every day. I try to help people with their problems. It's my job. Yet, sometimes I surprise myself. Dreaming that all the world's problems would take the shape of a monster.
The Lovecraft is going on here.
I could beat right down into the ground.
The previous game used a X-based approach for battles, and for this they went full action.
I fucks with that.
I wonder if it's gonna have a multiplayer.
It's hard to say right now because this thing only got properly announced a few months ago. But we'll probably be finding out soon. I guarantee that's going to be at Gamescom. But next is another... Oh, damn it, not again. This Ember and Blade, which is another one that was a blind suggestion.
Is this a survival game? Yep. Survival / Hades. definitely a roguelike.
Not that I'm complaining.
I'm willing to play certain ones like that. I don't know. I'm kind of on that one.
But next is a enhanced re-release of Emperor of the Fading Suns. I usually don't cover enhanced releases in this series. This is a special exception because the original Emperor of the Fading Suns was abandonware years ago. And yes, this is the game that would eventually give us the Fading Suns TTRPG, which has one of my favorite uses of D20 as a primary dice system. Because, and I think I told you about the victory point system, aka D20 Blackjack. I could have swore I brought that up to you before. See,
I think you have.
It is a roll under D20, but you're trying to roll as close to the line as possible.
Oh, right. Now I remember.
Hence D20
Combat drugs.
Yeah, hence D20 Blackjack. But it started out as a 4X game, and that 4X game is still available, but it's basically been abandonware, and you know how it is when you're dealing with old PC games.
Yeah.
And armed tactics to over.
I'm getting kind of supremacy vibes from this.
This classic 4X strategy game has survived more than 25 years thanks to the devotion of dedicated fans and modders. Now you too can enjoy Emperor of the Fading Suns, renowned for its deep gameplay and unparalleled setting. Use a robust diplomacy engine to trade technologies, political offices, threats, and even votes for the imperial crown. Avoid the machinations of the church and the anger of powerful alien races. Explore a detailed tech tree at your own direction. Enjoy a single-player campaign that you can make different every time, or fight and scheme with up to 5 players. Based on the popular Fading Suns role-playing game, Emperor of the Fading Suns includes everything you need to modify almost every aspect of the game. This includes a full map editor to create an interstellar empire, and
those planet linkings are important because full-on interplanetary travel is not really a thing in Fading Suns. What there are instead are routes on jump roads. So because of that, having control of certain planets and thus certain exit points on jump roads is very important. I guess if I'd liken them to anything, I'd liken them to like the hyperspace gates you see in Cowboy Bebop. Like imagine how much pull you can have just controlling just one end of those gates.
planets. Battle on land, air, sea, and space as you fight for control of humanity as one of 5 royal houses. Employ combined armed tactics to overcome enemy positions.
And yeah, it is already out. So, next is Endless Legend 2, which we did cover a few months ago, but we actually have gameplay footage now, as opposed to just a faction reveal.
Mm-hmm.
The Endless series is one of the more fascinating entries in the 4X genre, in my opinion. Whether it be the space stuff with Endless Space 1 and 2, or the fantasy-ish stuff with Endless Legend. And both of them do take place in the same universe.
I am many things. I have been many things. God. Wanderer.
Captive.
But the names I have had are nothing compared to those I will soon earn. I carry a searing flame that has flickered yet never extinguished, and an iron mantra that cannot be broken. The waiting will soon be over.
Still going to do the winter thing, like the first game. Although the amount of water is probably going to be more like storms.
Storms, mist.
I think one of the bigger questions that I have is, have they improved on combat? There's a lot of really good stuff when it comes to the Endless series, but with the first Endless Legend, the big drawback was combat was kind of hands-off. So this next one obviously comes to us courtesy of Alpha Beta Gamer, and that is Exo Rally Championship. So imagine doing rally racing with moon physics.
This is it, time to get serious. The team can't afford a setback here. Keep your focus, manage the risk, and let's get through this clean.
Complete with a navigator.
Check, please. Expect heavy dust. Electronics might act up out there. Checks are good, you're clear.
There probably is a third-person camera setup, but I don't see myself using it.
Oh my god, you're racing a freaking vehicle from Borderlands. I'm just hoping it doesn't handle like one.
I'd say this is handling a little bit different, and you can't afford to be bumping and running too much. Because you probably see that there's indicators for tires, thrusters, and O2 heat and fuel.
Oh yeah, you can't waste any time then.
Have you seen how rally racing works? See?
No, I have not, actually. Cannot say that I have.
Rally is essentially point racing, point A to point B.
Right.
Just trying to get the best route to that, which is why a lot of rally racing will have a driver and a navigator. infamous forms of rally. Oh
shit! Micrometeors? What?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Oh God. Okay, time to get out and flip the vehicle. Or that, I guess. Wait, did he just vent the heat to flip himself back over?
Yes.
Huh.
But one of the more infamous rally racings was Group B, which was kind of the Wild West. I'll also go into detail on it a bit later.
We can't refuel after this stage. Use your head, save your RCS fuel. We're slowly falling off the place. Do something, mate.
And so it's not just a fucking straight line. You're going all over the place.
Yep.
Bit of a hit there. Check the car. Let's see if you can carry on.
Oh shit!
Like I said, you can't do too much bump and run with these kind of things.
Oh God, and the engine light's on.
And what? Looks like he's lost brakes.
Yeah, it looks like he's lost them on one side. Carmack? Oh no.
Stage 3, and the hazard rating's bumped up to 3. We're also expecting light meteors, so it might get tricky out there.
Might get tricky.
Systems check, please.
Might get tricky, and just casual micrometeors, nothing fancy.
Solid. Best of luck.
Oh, and the meteors have already started.
God, and I see more incoming.
Yep. Although at least there's signposting so you know where they're going to be hitting. On the other hand, you're still driving through a meteor shower.
And here I thought the Races and Outlaw Star were crazy.
I will bring up with Rally Group B, a lot of them, you had cars that had aluminum frames with engines that were super and turbocharged.
Ugh, so I can only imagine the heat and the damage that caused.
Well, also you're dealing with a car that's bare bones as hell and about half the weight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get it. It's not a gate. You gotta go all the way around. I can see myself having some fun with this, but I can see myself getting my ass kicked a lot in it. On the other hand, I play a lot of Wipeout, so I'm used to getting my ass kicked.
You poor soul.
Skill issue.
Try going a few rounds on a Viper circuit, then tell me skill issue. Even those diehard with Wipeout will tell you, as great as the games are, they are not the nicest. There's some evil blind turns in a lot of them.
God, I completely forgot about Wipeout. It's been years since I've heard that.
We have a spiritual successor of sorts these days with Redout, which is also unforgiving. So I guess you could say the developers understood the assignment when it comes to being the successor to Wipeout.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. But imagine playing this with a proper steering wheel.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could do it, but I'm also pretty sure that I'm not sure if I could handle that much stress.
Much like Souls-like games, I am ass at racing games.
I'm fine with arcade and simcade. Sim racing, I can take it or leave it. I might take more of it if it weren't for the fact that so many sim racers feel the goddamn same.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases look the same. But I think we got the hint regarding Exo Rally. But I can see myself tearing my hair out with this game, but also continuing to play it.
Yeah, no kidding.
But next is Force Strike, which actually has a demo out. It is a beat 'em up where it's kind of built around that whole playing the scenario out in your head. I guess kind of like that whole visualizing the combat that was in Hero.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Jet Li movie?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Hits you against impossible odds.
Hang on a sec.
Quest to hit you against impossible.
Okay, why do you keep doing? What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I ain't touching it.
Yeah, sync tube's acting up again. Hold on a sec. I got one late edition.
I'm gonna refresh just in case I have that sync issue again.
And hello there, team.
Hello, gentlemen. Pleasure to be here. Sorry I'm late.
No worries. If you
Nice to meet you.
Team. This is Sieg and Coops. Coops, this is team. Be nice.
Pleasure to meet you both.
Likewise.
Pleasure. All right. Well, shall we get back into it?
Yeah.
Hell
you
yeah.
see the sync
Yes,
tube
sir.
link?
Yep, I'll join right in.
Yep. As soon as you're in, I'll give you the proper promotion. As mentioned, we're just going through a bunch of stuff that was announced and discussed around the AAA Initiative Showcase.
Yep.
We've gone through a few. We'll have plenty more. I have a grand total of 70 entries. Because I plan on shoving it down everyone's throat that there are far more good games out and in the works than people realize.
Yep.
The current one we're about to go into is Force Strike, which is a beat 'em up that has its own little practice mode of sorts. What I'm showing is the combat overview for one of the combat schools, the Leaf School.
Ooh, all right.
Force Strike hits you against impossible odds in your quest to save
Looks interesting.
the Emperor.
I've taken a little peek at some of the other games they were showing. I can't say I'm too familiar with all of them, but I'm going to love hearing your guys' opinions on them. So let's get right into it.
Until you are certain of victory. But foresight alone will not be enough. You will require martial techniques learned from a true master, such as the light-hearted Master Talgum, who teaches from the Leaf School, who teaches from your quest to save the Emperor. With the
Is somebody clicking on Seek?
I'm not. I just refreshed.
That was myself. I apologize.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
I was like, oh
Sync
god,
Tube's
it's doing that.
acts kind of weird with that kind of thing.
All right, sorry. I'll keep my hands off.
Power of foresight. You fight every battle in your mind before it begins, until you are certain of victory. But foresight alone will not be enough. You will require martial techniques learned from a true master, such as the light-hearted Master Talgum, who teaches from the Leaf School, the first of 5 schools of combat you can learn in your journeys.
Definitely
The Leaf School
karateka
allows you to redirect your
vibes.
foes' attacks into their own allies, to deceive them
Mixed
into
with
believing
some,
that you are
one-finger
somewhere
death
that you
punch.
are not, or to simply evade them altogether. Your
can see it to a
defensive
point, but
maneuvers
I'd
transform
be-
an
I
enemy's aggression
get
into
more
a weapon
vibe
that
from
you wield
seeing.
with ease and grace, turning dire situations into advantageous opportunities. Unlock the other 4 schools and combine their techniques with your mastery of the Leaf School to become a formidable adversary against all who would threaten the Emperor. No matter how successful you may be within the foresight, true victory or resounding defeat can only be achieved in the real world. Each battle is a riddle to unravel. Each strike a question demanding answer. You must learn, adapt, overcome, until
Holy
victory
shit.
is yours. Play
Just
the
jibbed a
demo
dude
now
with
on
another
Steam
dude.
And try your hand with
I
the
will beat a
techniques of the
motherfucker
Leaf
with another
School.
motherfucker.
And wish list for news on future
Oh, it's
updates
Devolver
of
too.
Force
I'm like, yeah, this seems very, very in line with Devolver.
So, next one on the list is Frostrail. This was revealed during the III showcase.
Yeah, I think I saw this on Steam.
So, who here has seen Snowpiercer?
Nope.
And it's the Barotrauma team. It's, well,
Okay, so it's got survival, and you got Wendigos. Yeah, so it's an escort mission with a train mixed with elements of the forest.
yeah, just don't stay out there too long because it's fucking cold.
Oh look, a pipe rifle.
I don't remember pipe guns having that kind of rate of fire.
I don't remember them being that meaty either. Because that was some meaty headshots.
Yeah. So, next one is another blind entry. This was announced, and we don't have much more than that. And that is Grimkey.
There was once a kingdom of light. Its people joyful, its rulers just. But happily ever after doesn't last. Step inside the Grimkey.
Not much to say on this one yet.
Some Cthulhu mixed with some Darkest Dungeon, it looks like.
So now it's time for us to indulge in our love of mecha, because Gundam Seed Battle Destiny is the next one. And this one had came out only in Japan for the longest time, and now is getting a remaster that us filthy Westerners are going to be able to get a hold of.
Now I would have to watch Gundam Seed to really kind of understand what the hell is going on here. I understand Beam Saber, and Beam Saber is always awesome.
I don't think you need to be an expert when it comes to Gundam Seed to get the point.
I mean, I get the point. I know Beam Rifle, I know Beam Saber.
And we have super moves as well. Like, for those who like a more arcadey approach to their mecha, this is right up the alley.
That just brings me back to Gundam Wing. It's more colorful, I'll give it that. Customizable controls, okay.
And yeah, this is on my wish list, if that wasn't obvious already.
I was about to say, that's not a surprise. Yeah, I'd give it a shot.
So, this is another one I grabbed when I was going through game trailers, known as Havenhold.
We're so happy to finally share what makes Havenhold truly special. Havenhold is a multiplayer action sandbox that's inspired by Asian mythologies. We got hooked on the idea of a cyclical universe and reincarnation. It's the backbone of everything in the game. At the heart of Havenhold, the Kunlun Mountain is the foundation of it all. The Taichu Order, a group of warrior monks, believe that the mountain holds the secret to ascension. But here's the catch. The mountain favors the strong, and every 14 days, when a great eternal cycle ends, only those who are worthy are rewarded. You play as a warrior monk, awakening at the start of a new cycle. You discover your ability to spirit bind, a forbidden power so dangerous most wouldn't dare touch. But you're different. You are a descendant of the first Taichus. The chosen few born with the gift to bind with primordial spirits and use their raw transformative powers. Will you bring the heat with firing infernos?
Yes.
Stay cool with icy precision? Or maybe channel the forces of the tides? The best part, you're not locked into one choice. Each cycle, you can activate multiple spirit binds for different primordial spirits.
What this is reminding me of a lot is Absolver.
I was going to say, it does give a lot of Absolver vibes, combined with some open world survival stuff akin to Pow World or Rust.
Although you may be born with the gift, you still have to earn your mastery. The combat abilities of each primordial spirit are obtained through ability scrolls, and these are scattered across dungeons, ruins, and sacred temples, places crawling with mobs who've lost the favor of the Kunlun Mountain. You spend a lot of time fighting out these non-believers, so choose your selection of primordial spirits wisely.
Say again?
I said, so a function from Assassin's Creed Shadows that's actually practical, and isn't busy work.
Don't drag Ass Creed into this.
Fair enough. You can flog me for this later.
Again, and you'll be keelhauled.
Yes, sir.
and customize the right combat abilities to best
Oh yeah, now
match
I'm
your
definitely
playstyle.
getting the
And then there's
Absolver
gear.
vibes.
You're going to need solid equipment to take on tougher enemies. Craft using materials to gather, and blueprints to loot from bosses. If you're someone who enjoys amassing wealth, the game also features a player-driven economy where you can buy and trade.
Cool.
As you enter more difficult territories of Kunlun Mountain, things get way more intense. You'll want to team up with your friends and allies to take on the toughest challenges ahead.
We have put a lot of time into designing and fine-tuning combat in Havenhold. We are not done yet. It's a work in progress.
Our goal is simple. Make the combat fun, fast, and smooth. We want you to experience epic battles and intense PvP while still feeling free and agile as you move. For example, we use half-body animations so you can move freely while attacking.
You can also dodge, jump, double jump, and even walk in air to outmaneuver your enemies. Heavy attack comes in different forms, like jumping heavy streak or rolling heavy streak. If you're looking for challenge, there are advanced mechanics too, such as blocking, sentence, and parries. They are great for PvE combats as well. Combine all of that with unique ability combos, you get a system
that was kind of
easy to learn,
badass.
but has a lot of depth for players who want to master it.
As you go deeper into the Kunlun Mountain, the stakes get higher. Rival groups will fight for the best loot, and the battles get more intense. The mountain favors the strong. The last days of the 14-day cycle are all out war. This group clashing to earn favor from Kunlun Mountain.
The Kunlun Mountain calls to you. The future of the Taichu Order is in your hands. Will you learn from your mistakes, double down on your victories, or try something completely new? Every cycle is a fresh start, and your journey is yours to reinvent. We're truly passionate about our game, and we want you to feel the same way. We can't wait to welcome you into Havenhold, so wishlist us on Steam, join us in our demo, and shape its future with us.
It's a miracle. Just adding a bit of wuxia suddenly makes a survival game that I'd actually want to play.
I'd give it a try.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Next is one that I think I hinted at this on my Discord, Hell Clock, which I'm pretty sure some people will misread the title and see Hellcock.
I'm not saying it was me, but it's probably me. Because I'm 12. Okay, I already like this.
We have a bit of Hades and a bit of the Weird West.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm definitely down. Hard West with roguelike enemies. Or roguelike mechanics. Hard West is a good game, I don't care what anyone says.
I like
it's just
Hard West.
really, really tough.
So next is something we did cover in the last one of these, and this is one of the rare games from a major publisher because it is Heroes in Might and Magic Olden Era. Because Ham is coming back, and not only are we getting a new Ham, but we're also getting a Ham TTRPG. Which, why the hell did it take so long for that to happen? I would have figured this would have happened like 20 years ago.
dreamed of peace, yet it was nothing more but an illusion. That is about to shatter.
Yeah, perform a shield wall with low shields. Okay, there we go, that's better. Oh! That looked like it hurt.
That looked like it hurt worse.
Spicy.
Spicy. Look at how you struggle. So pathetic. So foolish. Not even death can bring you comfort.
Who the picked Necropolis? Okay, who brought the Tauren from WoW in here?
Tauren that can summon dragons.
We will be your salvation.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Don't resist your greatest desire. Embrace your new master.
So the Slanesh mixed with Hell. I wonder if their primary ability is to sacrifice everything.
And also Medusae. So we've got a good variety of factions here.
Not much for strategy games, but I'd give this a shot.
It might be a little bit more balanced than some of the other HOMs that I've played, because I still have trauma from Heroes of Might and Magic 2. It's fucking genies, man, I swear.
Spicy boys.
That, and you know how I've taken the piss out of people who insist that there's nothing wrong with busted ass casters in the world's most ubiquitous role-playing game?
Oh yeah.
In Heroes of Might and Magic 2, it was even worse. Once you start getting a decent amount of casters mid-game in that, martial characters become useless.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you get a genie, which can already do good amount of fighting and casting, and doesn't suck at either of them. Like, the genie is basically the nuke button in that game. And yet people will tell me until they're blue in the face that it's perfectly balanced.
About as perfectly balanced as freaking the Gauss Cannon Siege mode in Doom 2016.
At least that thing's fun to use.
Exactly.
But next is Honor of Kings World. And yes, I added this in because I wanted to fill my Wuxia quotient.
Look, the wonder is just up there. But to access it, you still have a long way to go.
Wuxia with mechs?
Hey, I just got us a new dungeon mission.
More likely than you think.
I mean, I'm not knocking it. It looks pretty badass. Okay, who gave the martial artists the Mancubus cannons? Gives my swordsman's heart much joy. It's still raw because it's clipping through the cape.
If you have a death wish, then come and fight me!
Okay, Sun Wukong, sure. Okay, not Sun Wukong, but close.
legally distinct song called.
Exactly.
Watch out!
Yeah, I'm down. Let's do this.
So, next is another one that was a blind suggest. Hike Northern Lights. Road trip.
Imagine Falcon punching monsters in a bunny suit.
I think you just summoned a bear to do it for her.
Haiku Northern Lights Steam Nintendo Switch PlayStation 5にて発売決定
Not for the Xbox.
ウィッシュリスト登録受付中
So, this next one, Into the Fire, this was showcased at III, and some publications described it as an anti-combat game. But I see this as just as a firefighting game, essentially.
Join the adventure on an isolated island with a gateway to hell. As a bold explorer, survive for 30 days, listen to the voice of nature, and save as many lives as you can from the clutches of death. The Cableway Old Station is your hub, a safe place in a world of raging elements. Here you provide shelter to those you rescue. Upon arriving in critical regions, you must plan your actions carefully. Every mission is a race against time.
I have a big question. Why did these people settle near a gateway to hell?
Dangerous territories. You'll need to react to the events around you.
I think this is less a gateway to hell and more of a
temperature transfer,
active
fire
volcano.
spread, and full interactivity.
I'm coming for you!
Every second, the fire is reaching more areas and gaining strength.
You'll be out of here soon! Stay calm!
Destruction is part of surviving disaster.
No time to play. I'm going in.
Water is the primary resource for fighting fire. In this world, it's limited, so you have to not only react, but also anticipate your actions in advance. In the chaos of the fight for life and death, local ancient myths turn out to be hellishly dangerous.
What the hell is this?
That was a salamander.
And is that a water shotgun?
The fiery forces
Awesome.
won't let you save everyone, but you must not stop.
I think it was a
Someone is
grenade,
still
but
waiting for your
might
help.
have seen it wrong.
Stay back!
Oh, there's a grenade too. And Hydra goes, why? Ground around the volcano is very fertile and filled with nutrients.
He came down from the summit.
Oh, they're very dead.
Yep. So the next is just a teaser, but we are getting a DLC expansion for Katana Zero. Which, if you have not played Katana Zero, I highly recommend it.
I have
People
it. I
have been
just
waiting a
never
long
played
time.
it.
That's too many mouths.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, free DLC. I forgot to mention that. But
Still coming, still free. Okay, cool.
But next is King of Meat, which I can best describe as a cute. That's not cutie. Cute version of Running Man, but still as deadly.
Which means it's always time for King of Meat! Ready for action? Ready for mayhem? Ready for gold
or maybe a deadly version of Wipeout.
Challenges from the most twisted minds of the most ghoulish dungeon creators are transformed into
So the fact that
reality.
this has dungeon creation amuses and terrifies me.
Oh, the shit I could build with this. So it's a dungeon creation / Smash TV type of thing. I like the skeleton with the freaking top hat.
This is King of Meat!
There were a couple other videos that went into detail on some aspects, but I had to pick one.
You know, it's giving a lot of that Wii game vibe, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm picking up?
Oh, yeah.
What I'm putting down?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
So, this next one, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, I remember when I first talked about this, some people were like, well, it's just a Marvel game. What's the big deal? I'm like, this is a Marvel beat 'em up being done by Emu. With the same team that did like Shredder's Revenge or Rita's Rewind.
Wolvie! Don't know who that is, but I like him. That's Nova, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, good old Buckethead.
Okay, so it looks like in single player it kind of plays like Double Dragon Gaiden with the tags. I love me a good beat 'em up, so I'm down.
Yeah, and I've seen some go, am I really gonna add another beat 'em up to my library?
Yes.
Fuck yes, I am. But what's really telling about this is that all of the designs we have here is drawing upon the Claremont era of the comics. Except for the new girl with the sword. I can't tell who that is. The color
I don't know who
scheme
that is.
makes me
Star Child, maybe?
maybe, or their own incarnation of Captain Marvel, and I'm mainly saying that because of the color scheme. But Captain Marvel, and I'm obviously referring to Marvel, not Carol Danvers, didn't really do swords. So maybe Star Child, but no. But what I did notice is we've got a good variety of enemy roster. It looks like we've got some from the Annihilation Wave. I think that's supposed to be the big one. And Sentinels, obviously. And also...
Looks like a scroll.
Yeah, also AIM. Which you don't see AIM showcased as much in terms of enemy factions. And see, Hydra says, here's a fun little theory. Wolverine's berserker nature is based on Canadian military records. TLDR, Canadian soldiers did have a bit of a habit of going berserk during the World Wars. Yeah, you're not far off on that. There's the running joke that half of the Geneva Convention is just the rest of the world telling Canada, don't do that shit again. Because there's a whole 2-year class that can be taught on Canadian war crimes in World War One. But well, it's nice to see Wolvie. I have to do one hot take. I hate the brown uniform.
Yeah.
It just throws me back to my old days of the X-Men arcade game, because I love that look. I don't care what anyone says.
I think that's what this is trying to channel.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, I did look it up. It's Quasar. Captain Marvel's daughter? Or sister, or something like that.
Yeah.
Very little known.
Well, hopefully that we've seen games and other media use characters that weren't getting used in the comics as much, and then they end up getting a bump. So maybe we'll get something like that here.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll see.
I mean, just to use the case in point, Spellbinder was a minor villain in the Batman comics, one that had a really stupid gimmick, but then again, it was the Silver Age. His gimmick was doing cartwheels using the spirals in his outfit to hypnotize people. Again, Silver Age. Then Bruce Timm looked at that and decided to just do a bit of that and a bit of Mysterio, and then you have Spellbinder in Batman Beyond. Actually, a lot of the Rogues Gallery in Batman Beyond was cribbing notes from Spider-Man. But next we have Mistfall Hunter. I've seen some make Souls-like comparisons, but the vibe I get out of this is more akin to a fantasy version of Remnant.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Remnant's fucking great, so I'm fine with that.
I just suck at it. Oh, dude, I would definitely play this. Well, shit, I passed the freaking mark then.
No, playtest starts April 21st. So it's probably still active. But
time to go in the hunt then.
Mm-hmm. But next is Morbid Metal. I like our lead guy's design already.
I like his weapon. Oh, and he can switch them on the fly. That's awesome. Fury mixed with Metal Gear Rising. Mixed with some Ninja Gaiden. And First Berserker Kazan.
I don't see Kazan in here, but I do see a bit of Nier with that bullet hell moment. So this next one, Morals Protocol, I can't remember if it was this one or something else, or a different one, but there was talk of taking some notes from System Shock.
Oh, shotgun. And dual pistols. Lightning gun. Laser. Wait, is this a sequel to, God, what's that one game? That
No,
one new
it's not a
game, I
sequel.
can't remember.
It's not a sequel to Ultra Kill. It's not even the same studio. But this was another one at the Initiative Showcase proper, known as Neverway.
So, ISO Nightmare Reaper mixed with Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see where you brought up Nightmare Reaper.
Oh, fuck no.
Enjoy your nightmares, folks. So, for the next one, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, we did technically talk about this a few months ago, but we only had one playable character revealed at that time. And I'm still down for this because it's essentially Ninja Gaiden by way of the Blasphemous devs.
Is this a Ninja Gaiden Metroidvania?
Yes.
Oh, I am all for this.
Like I said, it's the same team behind the Blasphemous games.
Oh, hell yes. Ooh, you can switch characters too. Yep, I'm getting this. This is a day one.
Now, next one, this one was recommended to me a while back, and what I'm immediately reminded of is Homeworld. Hopefully this will be better. I'd say hopefully this will be better than Homeworld 3, but how could it not? because Homeworld 3 was such a fucking disaster. I think you can see why I was getting Homeworld vibes. Both with those ships and with the whole holding Wreath of Freedom. Now that ship's seen better days.
Oh, damn.
Sig, are you familiar with Homeworld?
I've seen it on Steam, but I'm not.
It is an RTS that has always boasted 6 degrees of freedom, like a full 3D space RTS instead of flat plane when it comes to space, which is not easy to do. But
oh, I bet. Definitely more of a tabby game than me.
Yeah. The next one we've got, which is another one that was at the Initiative Showcase, is Over the Hill. This was done by the same team that did Art of Rally, which is a very nice race and chill kind of game. And Over the Hill seems to have that same vibe.
When the journey gets tough, who'll answer the call? There was a time when adventure called to something deeper in us. Over the Hill beckons you back to those forgotten days when the journey itself was the destination. Find your grip as tires fight for precious traction on wild and untamed paths, where the earth welcomes you with its embrace, leaving its mark on metal and memory alike. In a world that's forgotten how to wander, find friends who share the same memories and the same desire to relive these moments of beautiful struggle, once commonplace, now precious and rare. Crest each summit to glimpse vistas untouched by the hurried world below. Frame these moments like Polaroids from a simpler time. Take care of your machine like it's more than just metal and rubber, because out here, they have a soul. When a friend struggles, we don't leave them behind. We pause, we lend a winch, and we get through it together.
Just don't look down for some of those cliffs. But next is the only instance where I had to get 2 clips. Because Painkiller's back. And even though this is the PS5 trailer, it will be on PC.
3D Realms is back.
Yep. And Saber's working on this as well.
Ooh, this is gonna be good then. What I'm hearing is I need to play through the Painkiller franchise.
And if you want, shouldn't be too hard to get both these days.
If you had to pitch it to someone entirely new, how would you?
Painkiller, you have a gun that can fire shurikens and lightning.
Yep, that'll sell me right there.
Yep, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
But between this and the fact that apparently Saber is planning on a Space Marine 3 and is bringing Turok back, they're going to be busy over the next few years.
I mean, 3D Realms came back with freaking that one game that I can't recall off the top of my head.
And oh god damn it, the weapons, it won't let me show the weapons trailer, so we'll have to go through
Turbo Overkill. That's what it was.
Yep. So
yeah,
since I can't show the weapons for this because I don't feel like doing the whole alternate tab, instead we're going to go straight to the next one, which is Project Citadel.
Oh.
Oh. Which, this one, if the other one was a tabby thing, this one might be as well.
RTS roguelike? Holy cow. That's...
That.
You know,
that's two genres you... Oh my goodness.
It wasn't too long ago that someone tried to convince me, oh, nobody's making decent RTSs. I'm like, motherfucker, are you blind? Actually, I think you may have answered your own question there.
Two genres you wouldn't think would go together, but hey, seems legit.
I mean, kind of makes sense.
Yep.
But, ooh.
So this next one, Psycho Patrol R, this is done by the guy who did Cruelty Squad. He wanted to do psychics and he wanted to do mechs. And if you have seen footage of Cruelty Squad, you know that you should not expect anything, period. Because
so it's completely batshit.
Yes.
Okay, dual wielding a shotgun and a revolver. Good lord, this is so low poly, it's wonderful.
He cited the poly designs of GoldenEye as one of his big inspirations for his visual style.
I can definitely see that.
I could see some people saying that this style just looks too weird, and I'm like, there is a method to this madness.
Yeah, I mean, some people just don't have the eyeballs for it.
And yeah, it's already out on early access.
The logo hurts my eyes, but I don't care. This looks great.
Yep. From what I've seen, it takes a lot of Cruelty Squad's aesthetic and kind of applies it within Deus Ex gameplay. But then again, it's also its own thing entirely.
Yep. So this last one, I ended up grabbing this at the last minute, because this dropped on me this morning. Quantic River.
Okay, Cyberpunk.
Gee, I wonder what engine they used for this.
Could not tell you off the top of my head. Power juice.
And I'm sold.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I was like, okay, this is awesome already. Just hacked him to stop him and just comes up and fucking cleaves him. I really like this style. Oh shit.
And Hydra says, wait, didn't you play a demo of this a while back? No.
No, but now I'm gonna.
I played something in the similar aesthetic, but not this.
Oh, it's even crazier Gray Fox.
Go! So,
oh, hell
this is
yes.
the closest thing to a major entry in this. Raito Remaster is, well, an enhanced remake of Devil Summoner Raito Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army. And given how the last two remakes that Atlus has done within the Mega 10 universe has gone, I think it's safe to assume that this isn't just Raito Kuzunoha with a prettier engine. Like look at what they did for Persona 3. The remake that we got out of that doesn't entirely play like the original does.
Yeah, but didn't that use like the P5 engine?
Yeah.
But here, in the Taisho era, we're the only detectives that specialize in that sort of thing.
It's got that
Yes, this is the
signature art
Army
style.
Detective Agency.
Please, sir.
For those unfamiliar with history, the Taisho era was the early 1910s through the 1920s.
So post Civil War.
Please help.
Righto, got a case. Let's roll. It's time. Now. Good.
The dark. And of course, one of the first demons they show you taming is Cerberus. Some old habits don't die.
I was about to say, he's like almost the mascot in some ways.
Have you read the first Mega 10 story?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the first good demon that was acquired. And he's always kind of been the mainstay.
I need to read the other two novels in the original story.
Bravo, detective. Or should I say, Devil Summoner. Raito Kuzunoha.
You may call me Goto. Take it easy. That's my motto. I'd go, but it's easier for you anyway.
Hello there, Mr. Narumi. And listen to me for a minute, okay?
So, I ask, are you prepared to lead the life of a devil summoner?
Come forth.
Can I just state for a moment that as far as designs for protagonists, Raito has always had some of the best drip in the whole franchise.
No fucking kidding.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that the name Kuzunoha, that is implied to be the name of Abe no Seimei's mother, who may or may not have been a kitsune. But this next one, Rematch, we did talk about this a few months ago, but we didn't have a whole lot to go on. This is by the Absolver and Seafood devs, which took a lot of people by surprise because they went from perfecting martial arts combat to football.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, this isn't position-based football, for one. This is more akin to the positionless affair like in Rocket League, and is far more of an arcadey approach, so right up my alley.
Oh, it's by Gamatsu, too.
Keepers or sweepers. It's also a much smaller team and a much smaller field. I'm not 100% sold on Rematch, but the more I see of it, the more I'm like, alright, I see where this is going. But next up is one that I believe this is already out by now, Rendering Ranger Rewind. For a while, this was one of those hidden gems that you'd have to spend out the ass to get. And hang on. Because it did that jump thing again.
Far in the future, Earth was attacked by unidentified aliens.
So Contra 3 mixed with Turrican.
Cities were reduced to ruins. A single soldier is sent to battle. He is humanity's last hope.
What was that about? Yeah, what was that about this just being Contra/Turrican?
And R-Type. Again, not knocking it. I'm just like, oh. Oh, and a bit of Darius, too.
He is Rendering Ranger R2.
Yeah, for a while, this was one of those games that you'd have to spend like $200 to try and get because of how limited even its Japanese release was. But this next one, Rise of Rebellion, this came out apparently today. This is a largely one-man project by someone who had previously worked on DLC for Souls games.
Oh look, he's got a swallow.
Yes, he does.
Potential? Really? How?
I I've seen some compare this to Souls-like, but this is far too kinetic for a Souls-like.
It seems a lot more smooth.
Feels more adjacent to Wukong or other character action type games.
I'd say that or Sekiro.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which Miyazaki has gone on record, Sekiro is not a Souls-like. But yeah, most of what you saw, that was a one-man job.
Nice. Very good.
Good job.
Yep. So the next one, Sacrifier. We technically talked about this one a few years ago when its Kickstarter was running. But now that it's getting close to its launch, we ended up getting a new trailer.
You've got nowhere left to run.
Heresy isn't a myth or a bedtime yarn. It's real. It's dangerous. It's what we fight against.
The demons above, the beasts below.
And the heretics within.
You have everything it takes to really help Antioch.
What do you want us to do?
I won't lie to you. We're in a crisis.
That's life in the bishops. The apocalypse is always a couple of days away. You'll get used to it.
Oh god, it's the Puppet Master
Just
again.
remember that when you're a bishop, and the difficult choices come,
I hated that fucking boss.
There are laws even gods cannot violate.
Q1 2026, huh? But next is a very strange case of skating known as Skate Story.
It hurts my eyes.
Games like this are why I don't need to do drugs.
Oh, I can't look at it. It's giving me a headache.
This looks like it would make my graphics card explode on trying to boot it up. Wild.
And of course, it's a Devolver project. So, next one is one that almost slipped under my radar, and that is Space Adventure Cobra: The Awakening. I will note the character of Cobra is what Hideki Kamiya has cited as one of the major inspirations for Dante. And it did get a pretty good short anime and a couple of OVAs about a decade ago. And apparently Space Adventure Cobra, the manga, is popular in France. At least from what I've been told. I'm not going to say no to some run and gun.
Principal Bowie, really?
Yeah. But now that's what we've got so far. But like I said, I hit the limit earlier, so I'm gonna hit the BRB for a couple minutes while I get the remaining parts set up. So,
Alrighty.
chat, we'll see you in a few minutes. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And the next one that we've got is our first proper sequel, and that is Speedrunners 2, King of Speed. I have the original Speedrunners. It is very good, somewhat dickish, but that's what you'd expect from this kind of game. And let's see what we got. From Tiny Build, of course. That's going to be a dick move.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, this is essentially a platformer designed to end friendship. So imagine being just inches away from the finish line, and then you get frozen. Like I said, the salt is real. But next up is Spine, and I've talked about this a couple times. Spine originally was going to be a multiplayer game, then something happened, and they jumped over to single player. And honestly, I feel like the reason it was done is because there wasn't a strong enough direction on the multiplayer end of things. But I'm perfectly fine with it.
Today we're excited to share the gameplay design of our upcoming Gunfu game, Spine. In our game, you're the star of your own Gunfu movie, with our protagonist Redline engaging in free-flow combat, fluidly moving between enemies and never losing control of the action. Guns are our main focus. Everything in Spine is about how Redline uses firearms. Whether it's part of free-flow combos, dodges, or powering opponents, we always design our mechanics to feel like a Gunfu movie. Like Redline
So
turning opponents' guns against
Cyberpunk
them
beats
instead
John
of carrying
Woo.
an inventory. She can use spray paint to blind her enemies, attack with nearby objects, and use environment to her advantage.
I dig it.
Your Gunfu skills
Oh,
will
damn.
be tested against
That was
both
a hell of
regular
a kill
foes
right
and
there.
powerful bosses, while Redline's spine implant will sharpen her reflexes to even the odds. Dare to take on a bigger challenge? Turn on hardcore mode and wishlist Spine today.
Looks like hardcore mode is one hit, you're down. But the vibe I get out of this is mixing Gunfu with the free-flow combat that we saw in the Arkham games. And I'm perfectly fine with that for one specific reason. Can you honestly see Rockstar doing another Arkham?
No.
Not Rockstar, Rocksteady.
Nope.
So if somebody else carries that torch, I say let them.
Exactly.
Because I've seen that kind of thing of, oh, this is just ripping off X. Like, yeah, but in the case of X, you're dealing with a franchise that hasn't been revisited in that form in years, if not decades. Like, I remember when Extreme Formula got announced, and I saw some people going, "Oh, this is just a poor man's F-Zero." I'm like, how long has it been since F-Zero GX? At least a decade.
Well, since there's been an F-Zero game that isn't freaking F-Zero 99 or whatever it was for the Switch.
Yeah, I don't count F-Zero 99. GX, I think, was like 2005, so about 20 years. If that was the case. And
yeah, that has been a while. Holy cow.
So like I said, instead of pining for a miracle from the quote-unquote legitimate name, if somebody else wants to pick up that torch and run with it, I say let them. But next up is one that originally I thought was just going to be Switch exclusive, but it turns out it's not going to be, and that is Star Overdrive. And again, sorry about that, it decided to jump about. But yeah, it's been out on Switch for a while, and now it's going multi-plat, as I had a feeling it would. And yes, one of your items of choice is a keytar.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, huh.
But then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for bullshit. This was the only thing I cared about that was announced during Star Wars Celebration. Everything else was a case of I don't give a shit. This is what Respawn is doing next.
Korriban. No, not Korriban. Definitely not.
When people talk about
Cautiously
the Clone
optimistic.
Wars, they talk about the big moments, the crisis points, planetary
Is that a droid
invasions,
control ship?
all-out assaults, cities bombed to rubble. Truth is, there's a war you don't see. The one fought in the shadows. The war beneath the war. A war that's won with the right strategy. Surveillance, ciphers, good old-fashioned sabotage.
Though this is taking place during the Clone Wars.
These aren't
I was about to say, that's a Republic freaking clone trooper uniform.
They're professionals.
I was gonna say, if that's Dash Rendar, I'm going to be very upset.
Setting aside their differences to take on the impossible.
Oh look, Mandalorian. No promises.
But that's the job, and they get it done.
Essentially, we have Star Wars meets XCOM.
Yep, I saw all those blaster shots miss.
Complete with the fact that we're probably going to deal with XCOM level RNG bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
99% chance to hit to the point where your gun is kissing the enemy's face. Still miss. But following that is a bit of a stealth game that I briefly covered the demo of and got my ass kicked in it, and that is Steel Seed.
It's ready.
Dad?
It will be all right, Zoe. Trust me.
Nothing good can come from someone saying, "Trust me." Hello, world. And I'm wondering if they should have played Making of a Cyborg to this theme.
I still have no idea what is going on. It's like, okay, they're clearly putting together something. Wait, that's a probe from StarCraft. What is this?
Maybe somebody took the notes from StarCraft Ghosts and ran with it.
Perhaps. I'm half expecting it to say, I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden, I'm the head of this facility.
What the? Don't touch. Whoa! This body. What is it? Stay back!
Clearly it's metal.
Where am I? What have you done to me? And who did this? Wait. I can understand you? I want to see my father, now! My father, Dr. Archer. Where is he? Head of Archer Industries? Kind of a big deal? He was working on... I don't know. Why can't I remember? He said he'd be waiting for me. You want to help? Help me find him. Trust you. I don't think we're quite there yet. Okay, but just stay in front of me where I can see you. Walking
It means to use it as a meat shield.
So, what are you? Kobe. That's a weird name for a robot. A bit
Well, now
early
I know what
tell
to
me
say when I
to do.
throw it.
My body, it feels so light. Whoa. Am I supposed to know how to do this?
Don't look down.
Sliding, walking on beams. It feels all too natural.
The yellow paint thing is a little obvious here, but not as obvious as in, say, some Sony games I've seen in the last 5 years.
Or Resident Evil 4's remake. At least it's unintrusive.
Yes, what do you think I'm doing? I really don't feel like I should be here. These constructions are gigantic. What is this place?
Although this kind of massive megastructure, I keep getting reminded of
This isn't home.
Lane. You know, with how endless the city is in Blame to the point where it's several astronomical units in diameter.
I can't see the bottom. I hope I don't slip.
But I don't hate the yellow paint as much as some do, because I understand signposting is a thing. And I think we've all had certain games where we didn't quite know what was supposed to be something we could latch onto and what wasn't. I'm not defending that kind of thing, I'm just noting it.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like something should have happened?
Probably
So,
because
my
we've been doing
thrusters are
this for like
broken.
5 minutes. Do not give energy to the life core. I was about to say, if you got that reference, I salute you.
Whoa.
A little on the nose with that chorus.
This is gigantic. There's no way this could be man-made. You do realize all this smells fishy, including you, right? Sorry.
No, that's
I have
because you're at
so
the
many
bottom of the
questions.
freaking slums.
Hey, stop shooting! Hey! Everything is falling apart! Run, Kobe!
Yeah, they're not even shooting that big a late, well, until just now.
This is what happens when you stop believing in collateral damage.
Ah, so we're going with the Atom Smasher philosophy.
Also known as accuracy by volume.
Over there, that door!
Well, the door is just a few clicks away.
I was about to say, either A, it's going to get blown out and she's going to have to Matrix jump across, or that's going to happen. It's an arm. Oh god, they recycled the boss from Wild 9. And killed it instantly.
Let's hope that monstrosity is coming for good.
I still have that game.
There is only
It's a
one
great
way
game. I
can
loved
do it
it.
by myself. Another one of those. Be quiet. I don't want more weapons pointed at me. So,
As she stealth kills a dude with a giant laser axe.
being silent seems like a safe choice.
Just crystallizes him and no response there.
How's that thing supposed to help us? Okay, I guess I'll give it a try.
Treasure?
Probably some kind of expendable resource.
He's facing us. I got no
Okay,
choice.
where
but to
the hell did they get that?
I think George Lucas is gonna sue somebody.
More than likely.
Although it's a form-changing lightsaber. Nice.
That shit gets bigger?
Yeah, it extended out a bit.
beam swords are nice, but I find a beam great sword more interesting.
I could make a Tenchi universe reference, but I'm not going to.
Your restraint is
Quiet now,
appreciated.
Kobe. A terminal, you say? Let's give it a shot.
Yoink. Yeah, when I played through the demo, open combat is not the most advised because you are very, very squishy. So, folks, is this a weapon to surpass Metal Gear? It's a very big door.
Thanks, Sherlock.
Oh, why is it back?
Because it can always get worse.
I'll be honest, I don't know how to feel about this one.
Mildred, you played the demo, right?
Yeah.
Before we continue, what were your thoughts?
The demo kind of threw me right in the middle of things. If it had gone through this kind of level setup, I would have had a different experience. Because it gave the vibe that it was an action game with a bit of stealth originally, when this is far more stealth action.
Yeah. I'm going to be blunt, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes, and I don't think any part of that really hooked me. Like,
Same. I was like, I thought I was the only one. I was like, I'm bored.
Just when you start off, like, if you started off in media res, like Mildred said, that probably gave off the wrong impression. But this doesn't seem like the right way to do it either, because there was one and a half stealth assassination sections, and then it ended right at the boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of slugged.
The vibe I get is one of those first 15-minute videos, like what IGN sometimes does.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it was. But
yeah. But next, another case of a lot of me rubbing it in Gigic's face regarding his comment from a few years ago where he said Mecha is dead in the West. If it's dead, why are we getting Super Robot Wars games stateside now? After the success of 30, we're getting its follow-up with Why?
We're running it back.
And that leads me to a more logical question. Why does anyone still listen to Gigic? battle chainsaw?
Yes.
You have my attention. Okay, who gave Kabu Terimon a sword? And why is it so awesome? Oh my god, it's Burning Gundam!
I literally just started this yesterday. What timing?
Of all the Gundam series I've watched, G Gundam is my favorite.
The 20th anniversary of its premiere was yesterday.
Yep.
I didn't even know.
Oh no.
いいぞルルーシュさよなら想定以上のダメージか
Not sure how he said anything after he's dead.
感じるぜ風をミサイル行け
It wouldn't be Macross without missile circuits.
Did you see the size of those fucking things?
Yes.
こいつをぶち込む裏へゲッタービーム
Do you believe in Getter?
Now I do.
守ってばかりじゃなくて攻めないとその位置ならライフルで
I do know that Dyna Xenon will also be featured. But it is good to be a mech fan these days. But next is an indulgence in one of my catnips of genres, and that is shmups with Cider Reloaded. Well, that's one down. And is that a nuke? And it looks like we're dealing with another case of the shmup where you can shoot both ways.
I wonder if you can do like your bits and formations. Or, you know, shoot Kamehamehas.
Although I do want to point out one thing in particular. Let me scroll back a bit. Look at the top. I think this is taking notes from Darius. Especially with the whole battle map set up there. I think that's them trying to do what Darius did with the big multi-screen setup in the arcade. Now, for the next one, yes, we've covered this at least twice in the last year, but I need an excuse to cover it again because we're going with an open beta. Think Dynasty Warriors with a bit of roguelike and very, very Scottish. Ladies and gentlemen,
So we're going to be headbutting a lot of things.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tears of Metal.
We are not just men. We are one people, bound by courage, not fear. They came to our land, seeking the power of a fallen stone. Today we stand and fight for the right to live free!
I'm surprised they didn't superimpose Mel Gibson in there.
Hold the line! Let them go! Scotland will never kneel!
So, open beta is now. But we passed the threshold for it.
Damn.
But next is
Good.
something that is already out. Tempest Rising, which very much feels like the Command & Conquer sequel we never got.
Hello, and welcome to Tempest Rising, a love letter to the golden era of classic RTS games. Updated for today's players with high-fidelity visuals and aggressive, pulse-pounding gameplay.
If Command & Conquer and Synthetic had a love child.
Tempest Rising takes place in a fictionalized version of 1997 in an alternate timeline where the Cuban Missile Crisis ended in disaster. From the irradiated ashes of the nuclear fallout bloomed a flower with small red leaves bearing fruit and holding enormous potential. This would become known as the Tempest. The world of Tempest Rising is centered on a globe-spanning conflict between two factions, the Global Defense Force and the Tempest Dynasty.
So there's your GDI and
an
NOD.
alliance between the United States, Canada, and Western Europe. The GDF are specialists in peacekeeping and information warfare and prioritize surveillance and crowd control in their tactical approach. Their adversaries are the Tempest Dynasty, a collective of Eastern European and Asian countries that specialize in aggression, map control, and risk-reward strategy. The Dynasty is always willing to take one hit to give two back to their enemies. As the commander, you will take control of the faction of your choice in your quest to control the Tempest, conquer the globe, and decimate your opposition in either one of two action-packed, story-driven single-player campaigns.
Clearly those guys never played
11
Doom
missions,
because you never stand near explosive barrels.
against the other players in competitive multiplayer.
What's up? Oh no!
Or against bots in skirmish mode. Both multiplayer and skirmish mode include 9 different maps for up to 4 players to team up or battle in all-out, free-for-all warfare. One of the main components to battlefield domination in Tempest Rising is your ability to manage and control the Tempest. In addition to building your army and defending your starting base, you'll have to expand your reach across the map to gather resources as your harvesters temporarily deplete your initial sources of Tempest, leading to inevitable conflict in your quest to control the map. Each faction plays asymmetrically, with various counters built into their playstyle. The Dynasty, for instance, can make quick work of GDF troops with multiple units capable of deploying fire, melting through GDF armor in seconds. Additionally, they can increase their production speed substantially by activating distribution mode, accelerating unit production at the cost of structural damage. The Dynasty can even deploy the salvage van, enabling the mobile repair of vehicles and deploying into a cannon-mounted forward base, allowing for the additional construction of new buildings.
A mobile base is something that's highly underrated when it comes to RTS.
Meanwhile, the GDF can leverage crowd control capabilities to prevent Dynasty aggression, such as the careful application of drones from afar, locking off choke points with mines, or executing clandestine operations to deal critical damage to Dynasty structures and defenses.
In some shooters, I would place mines at the top of
feature
ladders
various
just to watch the
specialists
assault.
to further customize, challenge, and reward your wartime prowess.
Imagine climbing up a ladder and the first thing you see is a claymore with the front toward enemies pointing right at you.
Tempest Rising launches April 24th on Steam. Those who pre-order the deluxe edition will receive 7 days of advanced access, giving players an early glimpse at the global conflict and the secrets that lie beneath the roots of the growing Tempest. Welcome to Tempest Rising. Get ready to fight like hell.
Oh, 3D Realms and Saber? Really? And Slipgate?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this next one's been known for a while, and that is a 2D sprite Terminator known as No Fate.
Peggy 16. Peggy 16.
Coincidentally enough, I watched Terminator 2 the other day again.
What's funny when it comes to the Terminators, the whole is one of the big inspirations was a fever dream. Quite literally, Cameron had a fever dream about a skeleton coming out of flames.
John Connor! And the shotgun cock that Arnie broke his hand on set, or nearly broke his hand on set doing.
He nearly broke his hand because he insisted he could do that flip with a non-gimmicked gun.
Yeah, with a non-prop gun.
And it wasn't until he nearly broke his damn hand that he was like, all right, you guys win.
I'm having Terminator 2 SNES flashbacks with the bar scene. That was Contra 3. Metal Slug. Obligatory Doom 2016 reference.
But yeah, this is exactly what it sounds like. And I guess the question of, okay, which Terminator is this adapting? The answer is yes.
Right.
But next is one that was announced at the AAA initiative, The Eternal Life of Goldman.
錦安成です。僕は最近 The Eternal Life of Goldman の作曲チームに加わりました。でももしかすると皆さんこう思うかもしれません。おいお前、作曲家なのにどうして音楽がないの？それがまさに問題なんです。まだ何も作ってないんですよ。このゲームはとても複雑なテーマを扱っていて、多くのアイデアが混ざり合っています。正直少し迷子になってます。
Have no fear, Yasunori. I was in your shoes not long ago, but then I remembered. In the abyss of chaos, you can always grab onto the strongest thing there is. Love! The events leading to the eternal life of Goldman are a tragic love story. So just try to imagine what a broken heart sounds like.
And wherever there's love, there's death. This game mixes ancient tales and legends with religious motifs. A bold ensemble that gives us a glimpse into the darkest corners of the human soul. Imagine the sound of a sinner's knees.
Oh, no worries,
trembling
Hydra.
before the
Thanks for
last
sticking
judgment.
around and stay frosty.
That's all well and good, kids. But let's not forget, the eternal life of Goldman is, first and foremost, a cutthroat video game. And what's music supposed to do in a cutthroat video game? Get the pulse going so hard in your temples, you have a stroke.
These designs are fucking killer.
つかめてきたよ。ちょっとじゃあやってみましょう。こんな雰囲気とかどうでしょう。
Yeah. So the next one, The Great Villainous, we did talk about last time, but we didn't have a whole lot of meat on the bones. This time, we do.
このスカーレットの世界征服を見届けろ。帝国の諸君、喧嘩をしようじゃないか。楽しいな。蹴散らせ。
ざーっとこんなもんよ。
I don't know why, but this feels like something I would have played on the PSP years ago.
Yes, Generation of Chaos to be exact.
ガン首揃えてきましたわね。
Oh, I did not like that game. And that was early in the PSP's life cycle.
仲間なんて私には必要ないな。
スカーレット様の役に立ってね。屈するわけには。
Although, given some of the aesthetic that we've got here,
昔の口うるさ
I
さ
wonder
に
if
戻
somebody
っ
was
た
taking
な、お
notes
前。
from
放っ
Department
ておけ
Heaven.
ないのよ、あなたは。
自由は戦場にある。
盛り上がってまいりました。プロデュースはお任せあれ。
オラオラオラオラ。
無駄なあがきを予定通りだ。
大役力令状ストラテジオブリリー。2025年7月24日発売。
I do know it is heading stateside. It's just going to be a bit. But then we have another one that ended up on my radar, Traveler's Refrain. I think this one's already out.
Wandered aimlessly, searching
Yeah, I've seen
for
it
a
on
way back
Steam.
to her. I was eventually guided to this place. This wonderful,
See, you can make bards that don't
magical, despicable place. As I stumbled
Wait,
through the darkness
Shuffleboard
of
is
that
making-
forsaken forest, hearing only the wind through the trees and the creak of cogs, I remembered a forgotten song.
So we're dealing with an action RPG with quite literal song magic. That tracks. But after that we have Unbeatable, which I remember covering briefly, but there wasn't a whole lot there at the time. But now we have proper
quick
gameplay.
recap. This is a game where music is illegal and you do crimes. You do crimes by performing the dead simple action of hitting two buttons and signing the music, which makes this girl, who is you, do any number of things, like, for example, punching this guy right in the jaw. In between doing that, you go around and talk to people and look at things songs, get talked at by people, and try to get a quiet moment or two to yourself so you can think and write new songs and do graffiti and play baseball the wrong way and deal with cops the right way and everything's anime, we're pretty much caught up. So you might be wondering what the hell we could possibly have left to show. Welcome to Unbeatable Arcade, its own complete game experience with challenges and modifiers and
alternate game modes, secrets of its own, but all that's just icing on the thing you're here for, our 100% original soundtrack. Want to hear some of it?
No risk of copyright on Twitch. I mean, Metal Hellsinger did the same thing, and that's part of the reason their soundtrack was all original. And Metal Hellsinger kicked ass.
They've been an original soundtrack, but they had a star-studded amount of people working on it.
Indeed.
Unbeatable, all caps or no caps.
Yeah, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It's got style.
So, next one I got on the list is Void Breaker. This is another one that kind of slipped in.
Welcome subject 1473. A connection to the program has been established. Compliance confirmed.
Just putting it out there, I've always been a sucker for this sort of integration when it comes to tracking your ammo through the weapon itself, or just having interface without actually having an interface.
Subject 1473, I'm confirmed as death. Test restart required.
You remain secure within the program.
Wait, you can freeze them while they're on fire? Oh, that is
and
nuts.
chain lightning.
I don't think we have enough bullets. I'm not a fan of these timed playtests. But next is Warborn Above
Oh
Ash.
god.
Above Ash.
It is a MOBA.
That each battle may... Commanders, remember why we're here. We're here because we refuse to accept defeat. We're here because we know that each battle makes us stronger. We're here because we seek a shared honor. For Scorchforge City!
Are we sure this is a MOBA?
Rookies, I don't care if you came alone or with your squad! Ready yourselves for a 24/7 non-stop battle! On this battlefield of tens of thousands! Watch your actions! Every move you make will alter the fate
Seeing
of the
that
planet.
footage, that frame rate
In
was
March,
shitting
Over
itself.
50,000 commanders fought from two factions. We clashed with opponents for over 70,000 hours. Now, 6 factions are about to enter the fray.
I'm not sure if you can call this a MOBA.
Grand or strategic duels await.
Yeah, no, starting to doubt it.
Tell me, are you ready to fight?
So long as I can pilot that orbital
Total
BFG.
War test coming on April 24th, 2020.
What this strikes me as is what Planetary Annihilation wants to do on steroids.
Yeah. if y'all have ever heard of that
Wishlist
free-to-play
and sign
game
up now on Steam.
PlanetSide, it's
Join the Warband
PvP
pre-assembly
mechanics
event
look
now.
very similar to that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with PlanetSide. God damn it.
Share
a bit of
cash
history.
prizes and win exclusive rewards.
But next up is Warside, which feels like a Advanced Wars with a bigger map.
Warside Boot Camp.
Much bigger map.
Warside is a classic turn-based military tactics game, combining a retro feel with modern quality of life features, various campaign modes, and a few twists and surprises too. Play through an epic solo story campaign about the battle for supremacy on a continent under threat from multiple warring factions. Fight alongside fellow commanders in co-op missions, or go head-to-head in up to 4
But we
player
haven't had an
PvP
Advanced Wars in
battles
quite a
against
while,
your
so I'll
sworn
take it.
enemies. Battles are waged along a 2D map. Select your units to move and attack. Your ability to move and fire in a single turn depends on the unit type. Attack enemies and capture structures. You get currency at the start of every turn. The more structures you hold, the more money you earn. Use your funds to reinforce your units and upgrade your arsenal. The more expensive units have more powerful attacks or unique abilities. The Rhino, for example, can push other units around the battlefield.
Rhino!
Commanders have unique powers. Here, we use Jackson's EMP Blast to temporarily disable a group of units. Fast-paced gameplay that's quick and simple, but the unit variety and use of terrain makes for endless tactical possibilities. Warside is coming to Steam and consoles in spring of 2025. Wishlist today.
I think one of the big questions I'd have regarding Warside is, do we have a map editor? If we have a map editor, then it's day one.
Yeah, imagine all the crazy battlefields you could come up with.
Oh, I harvested some prime salt with some of the maps I made back with Advanced Wars, so I'm no stranger to that. But this next one, I believe this is one that you had brought up at one point. See. Welcome to Brightville.
Well, that's fucking ominous. Absinthe mist. Oh, what the fresh hell is that?
Clearly a problem. Was a problem.
I was about to say, let me kick the head around. There we go.
The law enforcement brigade should arrive momentarily.
Bring it on. Very, very Victorian, I would say.
And somebody was taking some notes from BioShock with this.
Yeah, no kidding. Wait, did you just flip the bird and blow that up? Where has this power been all my life?
Brightville Emporium.
Okay, that's cool. It's the second Volt station we've passed. Okay, stop with the auto-tune crap.
Well, if they wanted to give people nightmares, they are with that voice.
Please tell me that's Step and Wait. Okay, I gotta see more of that.
Yeah. Same brain.
Exactly.
But next is something that is only going to be on Apple Arcade for now, but I have a feeling it will expand in the future. What the Clash, by the same people that did What the Car and What the Golf. And they're going multiplayer for the first time. And bringing their... well, you'll see. Believe it or not, this is probably the sanest thing that this group has done.
What the actual fuck was any of that?
Raymond Raving Rabbits, we missed you.
The last game that they did was What the Car, where you are a car, then suddenly you have legs. Then you have too many legs. Then you're a car with a cold. Then you're a car being driven by office chairs. Then you have a car with long legs. Basically, them trying to stretch the idea of it being a car. This is kind of what they do with the What the series. There's also the infamous moment where they sent a demo code to Smitty, but that demo code was accidentally the full game, and then they're like, "Hey, sorry, we sent you the full game by accident." There's no takebacks though. Now the next one, Where Winds Meet, they're currently doing sign-ups for the alpha. Yes, I did sign up. And this one has been high on my priority list. Yes, it's another case of us getting our Wucha fix.
看宇宙，中命瓦夫格，十万横魔界，碧血平湖托。 春秋气醉我。
I feel like anybody who grabbed Black Mist should probably grab this as well.
谁家妻儿说？
I
Oh.
Between this and a few other entries, we're eating good as far as Wuxia fans go. And I feel like the success of Black Myth Wukong created a ripple effect. Since the sole reason Game Science ended up making that, well, I won't say the sole reason, but one of the major ones, was to showcase that studios in China could be more than just mobile game fodder, since that's what they had been doing up until that point. And if you look at some of the mobile games they did do, you could see that they were almost building up to the idea that they'd eventually do. But its success, I feel like, is causing other studios to go, hey, maybe we can jump on doing anything but mobile games. But next up is Willow Guard, which I may be salty about the fact that the Mouse Guard movie never happened, but this is a close second.
Okay, what the Cthulhu mythos is going on here?
A deck action game. One that seems to have a badger in the form of a witcher.
Just taking everything in me not to start singing the Badger song.
Your restraint is appreciated. Yeah. And our last one is another one that was a last-minute addition, and that is Wings of Endless. You know, when all you have is a hammer, all your problems start looking like nails.
The best bounty hunter. Getting very Wonder Boy type vibes.
I can see it. It looks like you're using the full cast. And that's all of them. Whoops. And then ended up hitting the wrong button. Didn't mean to disappear like that.
Oh no.
So, what did you guys think of what we had out here for this particular episode of the Hangover Shitshow?
I have a lot of games I'm going to be hunting, and I've wrote every single one down.
Yeah. Anytime someone's dealing with me or dealing with the monastery, their game library will be increasing in one form or another.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
I wish this is already 16 pages. I don't need more.
I mean, I know I've already started downloading the Havenhold playtest, so you know what? Fair enough.
Look, my goal is to get people to try more games and try a bigger variety of games. So in that regard, I'd say the mission has been accomplished.
Yep, I would say so as well.
Absolutely.
And yeah, there were some that are going to be higher priorities than others. There's some that I want to see more of before I make any rash decisions. But as a general rule, there's a lot here. I could have also shown the recent second trailer for Doom: The Dark Ages, but I don't think that would have done as good a job of selling Doom: The Dark Ages as the last trailer that I went through that actually went through some of the game mechanics. It was just, the second trailer was just a sizzle reel that they showed during WrestleMania.
I mean, I'm already getting Doom: The Dark Ages. You don't have to sell it to me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the case with most people. If
Yeah.
they know it's happening, they've already bought it. If they haven't, they're waiting to.
The only one that isn't on this list, simply because I didn't have enough space, and I had already talked about it before, was Metal Eden. Metal Eden is being done by the same team that did Ruiner. They've just gone from a isometric cyberpunk affair to a 3D affair, one that is very much drawing upon Doom 2016 more than say Eternal. I do think we will eventually see game designers take some notes from Doom Eternal for their own projects. It just hasn't happened quite yet.
When I get to the end of the countdown, I'm probably going to be going through each one of the games I played one by one.
Mm-hmm. But the overall point with doing these kind of things is, as I mentioned, to showcase that there is such a massive variety of games out there that are being developed by smaller or solo devs, that anyone who tries to say that there's no good games out there or something like that is full of shit, as I said at the start of this broadcast. Yeah, if you want to deal with the whole AAA brain rot, then you can deal with that. But don't do that and then tell me that nobody's making good games, because you're gonna get shown your ass.
Yep. Ultimately, if someone is saying, "Oh, gaming as an industry is dead," then they're not looking at the people in the industry. They're only looking at what the news headlines are saying, which not productive. You're not going to find good stuff if you look for complaint.
They're also not looking in the right places.
And
absolutely,
I do remember a colleague of mine saying that he wants to find a game that can give him the same amount of hype as when he first played The Sims all those years ago. And I've seen similar sentiments in other places. And if I'm being honest, in that kind of situation, you've fucked yourself from the word go. And the reason I say you've done that is you're setting yourself up for a standard that cannot be met. With a lot of these entries, I'm not looking for something to be as good as a game that I happen to grow up with. What I'm looking for is a game that and I've found it many times, a lot of people are going to cite as a great game they grew up with. This is a bit of a perspective change that I've always seen, but it didn't really hammer home to me until I started doing research for the FF Legend project, and seeing people cite games that to some of the old heads is blasphemous to speak positively on, but for them that was their entry point. I remember Commissar Bear talking about how he was so baffled that him saying FF13 is not a good game was suddenly this wild radical take. And I think in that situation it's important to understand for a whole generation, that was their first Final Fantasy. And they're going to have the same fondness that one might have of, say, 4 or 6. Now, as far as whether or not that's justified, that's another question entirely. But the effect does happen. There's
ultimately.
Good.
Sorry. I was just going to say, ultimately, the sentiment that they have for that game matters more than the gameplay or the review scores or anything like that. They are attaching the value of the product to their experience with it, which will be their own. And that kind of applies to a lot of game recommendations. If you want thing like thing, you're not going to find it. If you want thing that takes inspiration from thing you like, that's more likely.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've mentioned before that my favorite BioWare game is Jade Empire, but just because of that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to see a game out there that's just as good as Jade Empire. I'd like to see somebody take that idea and run with it. And this is something I see quite a bit in the development space of both tabletop and video game. People taking what they have to be inspired by and doing their own thing with it, and the cycle continues. Guys like Tarantino were very much inspired by the Grindhouse movies that they saw back in the 70s. And then you eventually had a whole generation who were taking notes from Tarantino for their own work. And the point is that aside from the fact that nostalgia can be very, very toxic if left unchecked, you have this problem where a lot of people who want that kind of nostalgia, even though they don't realize it, what they want is stagnation, or what they're asking for is stagnation. And consider how Dragon Quest has gone from a game that was so ubiquitous that it had its own holiday to where it is these days. Don't get me wrong, Dragon Quest can still command a following, but it's nowhere near as big as it once was.
Nope.
And I would say one of the big reasons for that is the fact that Dragon Quest stuck to its traditions for too long, whereas all of its competitors were doing those traditions and other things. This is why I've used the term design by gospel. But that is going to do it for this particular episode. I will not be myself streaming tomorrow. The interview with Star Anvil isn't going to happen for about a week. Instead, I'm going to be the one being interviewed tomorrow, for once, because Joey Taro is going to be interviewing me for his podcast. He's already sent a few questions that he's going to be asking, and I'm pretty sure more questions are going to be improvised, since I did send him the itch page for Legend Edition.
Very nice.
Nice.
Plus there's a few questions that I know he's gonna be asking. Chief among them being why I even became a VTuber to begin with. So please look forward to all of that. It'll be a nice change of pace for me to be on the other side of the glass for once. Usually I'm the one doing the interviewing. But until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra. I am your gaming monk. Stay Stay fucking frosty, everybody.
Oh